Pleased to have as my guest on this segment of Frankly Franklin, a woman that I have admired for a long time. Mrs. Virgie J. Burrus is with us today. Miss Burrus, thank you for getting out on kind of a bad day to come down here and talk to us on TV.
Mm-hmm.
We're glad to have you. Tell me, how are you feeling these days?
Very well.
Good, good. Do you mind if I ask how old you are?
No.
How old are you?
I am 85 years old, and on the 19th of this month, I'll be 6.
86. Well, may I say you don't look that old?
Thank you.
Have you lived in Franklin or around Franklin all your life?
My life.
Your
Other
whole...
than when I was in school.
Right. Well, now, you were a James, that was your maiden name, is that right, before you married?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your parents.
My father was Elwood Bud James.
Mm-hmm.
He had a barber shop down here on the square.
On the square, okay.
Only cut white people's hair.
Just white, okay.
Yes. And another man worked with him.
Would that have been in like the 20s and 30s, 40s? What year?
Earlier than that.
Earlier than that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
what about your mother? Was she a homemaker, or was she a teacher? Or?
No, she was a homemaker.
Uh-huh.
We had our full.
Well, now, I know you were a teacher for a long time.
Yes.
What made you decide that you wanted to be a teacher?
Well, just school. I like school.
Okay.
And I decided I wanted to be a teacher.
Now, did you go then to what was the Franklin
We
school?
we only had 6th grade, and then I added 2 grades on to that.
Now, is that up on Madison Street where
Yeah,
the lumber company used to be? Is that where you taught?
That's the school. That's the school, old school.
All right.
And they made additions to that. Then we had to leave and go to Franklin, the old school, if we wanted to continue.
I see.
So I went to, they sent me to Indianapolis, Indiana.
To Indianapolis?
Indianapolis.
Okay.
And I went there 1 year and graduated from Alex High School in Indianapolis.
Uh-huh. Did you have family up there, or who did you
stay with? A brother. Yes, had brothers and cousins and uncles.
Did you have many brothers and sisters in your family?
Yes, 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
How many of them are still with us?
Living?
Uh-huh.
None.
Oh, you're the only one left out of your family?
Yes.
Well, then, after you went to school in Indianapolis, then did you go to Kentucky State, or what did you do for college?
College, Kentucky State.
Uh-huh, now in Frankfort.
Frankfort.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you wound up back here in Franklin in, what, about 1933, 34, somewhere along in there? Or?
No, I didn't complete my school I went to Indianapolis, I was trying to say, for my first year of college.
Okay.
And started just after Christmas, first year. A first grade teacher at Lincoln School fell dead in the classroom.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, one morning.
It just fell over.
Fell dead.
My goodness.
She and another lady that taught school there. And then the principal called and wanted me to come and take her place.
Because real short notice, and they had to have somebody.
Yeah.
So you left school to come do that then?
It was a hard decision.
I bet it was,
I wanted to stay there and go to school.
Yeah.
But I'd made it. And I came home and started teaching.
Came back, okay. And you said that was first grade?
First grade.
First grade, yeah. Did you like teaching first graders?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cute at that age, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, so then you went back later and did more college work, or you had to just, did you go back to school?
I went later and did college work. I was in Kentucky State.
Okay, so did you like leave teaching for a while and go back to Kentucky State and then come back, or were you going in the summers, or?
I went in the summer.
I see. So once you started teaching, you kept on teaching.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you started teaching, had Lincoln been built, or were you still at the school up on the Madison Street?
Oh no, Lincoln hadn't been built. It was still at the same old school.
Same school.
Yeah.
Same school that you'd been to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All generations. Yeah.
How many children in that school at a time? Were there? I don't guess did you have a teacher for every grade, or?
where I went. But
Well, either way, but I mean,
Yes,
did you like to
yes,
have first
yes,
and second
yes.
together, or did you have
no,
a separate
and
teacher?
separate teachers. Separate
Oh,
teachers.
okay. So you had a different teacher for
Yes.
each grade. About how many children were enrolled in the school?
Oh, my. I couldn't tell you exactly. There were quite a few because they had 8 grades.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Did,
they made additions to the grades as the schooling went on.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
think.
now, were these mainly city children? Were there schools out in the county for black children that lived out on farms, or
Yes,
did they come to
could go,
town,
yes,
or
they could go in the country.
would there be like a school maybe close to the church, or,
Yes, some of them would be in the country
okay.
at school.
And in those schools, would they have a teacher for every grade, or would one teacher maybe have to teach more
Sometimes
than one?
teacher. Sometimes some persons would teach out there, and they'd have to ride from here in town and go out there to teach.
Hmm.
So one-room school. One-room school.
In one-room school,
Yeah.
and they'd go back and forth by car. They didn't have to ride a buggy or anything, did they?
Buggy.
Oh, they did have to go by buggy.
You didn't have to go by buggy.
Oh,
You didn't have a car, not too many cars.
I see.
I remember
see.
seeing the first car in Franklin in my life.
How old were you?
I guess about 8, something like that.
Is that like a Model A or Model T? Do you remember?
Yes, I remember Dr. Williams, white doctor,
Uh-huh.
that lived was next to where we paid our gas bill. Where we
Mm-hmm.
lived.
Mm-hmm.
The houses were there,
Right.
and then in that block. And I remember seeing the little car set out front, you
Mhm.
know, and I just couldn't imagine what it was.
Did you hear it start up? Did the
Oh.
noise startle you when you heard it?
And I didn't hear I didn't hear it, just saw it sitting there.
Uh-huh.
And Dr. Williams was out there,
Mm-hmm.
and I found out he was a little short doctor.
Mm-hmm.
He was short.
Uh-huh.
And it was.
I bet he was
something
a sight sitting up in there, wasn't he?
No, I didn't see him. I didn't see him sitting
You
in
just
there.
saw the
He
car.
was just. I saw the car,
Right.
and
right.
it was something else.
How old were you before you ever owned an automobile? I guess you were.
Oh my! That I owned.
Uh-huh.
I was married when I owned it.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now tell me, how did you meet your husband, Mr. Burrus?
His father was the first black doctor in Simpson County, Dr. Benjamin Burrus,
Mm-hmm.
and I met him through his doctor.
Were you and he about the same age?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, Mr. Burrus has been, and he passed away a number of years ago,
Yes.
didn't he?
Yes,
Okay.
he did.
When did you all get into the funeral home business?
30 in the 30s.
Okay. Was he already doing that when you met him, or was that
Oh, no.
after you all
He
married
went to school. He went to school.
to mortuary?
What's his school?
Okay.
Now,
Well, you
so-
did too, didn't you? Didn't you go to mortuary
No,
school?
no,
or,
I didn't. No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I just did my work with him.
I see.
Yes, he did.
So you kept your job teaching school,
Yes,
and then you helped out there at the funeral home
right.
also.
I
Has it
got
always
a license. I had a license. I got this license.
got a undertaker's license or whatever they call
Oh,
it?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Was the funeral home always where it is now, or did you all start
Well,
out
he
somewhere
started at
else?
his mother and father's home that, up on the corner from
Uh-huh.
the church,
Right.
and he started that. After we married,
Mm-hmm.
we moved where we are now.
I see.
And,
At that time, pretty soon after you all married, weren't there a whole lot more businesses in the Harristown community than there are now? Weren't there some stores and shops
yes,
there?
on the corner, I was born on the corner of Hill and Jefferson,
Uh-huh.
and there was a big hall. Remember the big building used to sit there?
Yeah, huh?
2 stories.
Now, is that
That was a
the
hall.
lot's vacant now?
That lot is vacant.
Right, okay,
That's
I know
right.
what you're talking about.
That's right.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Because it had, in this hall, it had a grocery store downstairs and a
Uh-huh.
restaurant downstairs,
Uh-huh.
and then the stairway up, and then there was a large room upstairs.
I see.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So-
Well, you mentioned that your husband's father was a doctor. Were there was there a black dentist and
He's
any
the
other
first black
profession?
doctor in Simpson County.
Uh-huh.
No, he was a regular doctor.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. What, did he move here from somewhere else to start practicing?
Swan Quarter, North Carolina.
From North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. wonder how he heard about Franklin and you to come up here.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it was through his sister-in-law, Mom Burrus, we call her Mom Burrus.
Mm-hmm.
Her sister married, they were Ohioans.
I see. Ohio.
I'm from Ohio.
Uh-huh.
And she married this man, and they pastored the Alpha Baptist Church. You know where the Alpha Baptist Church is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So he was the pastor of the church, and her sister
Right.
married him.
I see.
And Mama Burrus came visiting her sister and met
Okay.
Dr. Burrus
Uh-huh.
in Franklin.
Oh.
That's the way she met Dr. Burrus.
Hmm.
So he was the first black doctor
Yeah.
in Simpson
Okay.
County, and
Okay.
they married.
Yeah, and the rest is history. Well, let's go back to your school teaching. Now, I know, in addition to being a first-grade teacher, weren't you the chorus teacher? Didn't you have a music club or a glee club or something? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, when I went to school in Annapolis, I didn't have one here that I could take lessons from.
Mm-hmm.
And I did go to school and music in Annapolis. So I was the one who did this playing at the school.
Mm-hmm.
I did always play at the school.
The school plays and the programs?
Everything.
Yeah, pretty much everything. Yeah.
I was very active.
Did you have a lot of children participate in that?
Oh,
I
yeah.
bet they enjoyed it, didn't
Yeah.
they?
I had opera and plays as like in school. Because I like to dance. That was probably my dance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had time.
If you want to dance today,
No dance.
I'll
No
do the
dance
best I
today.
can, but you may leave me in the dust. I don't know.
Well, I used to play that song, What the Difference a Day Makes 24 Little Hours.
Uh-huh.
I can sing it now. Oh, yeah.
Did you ever take the kids, did they do public performances, or did you ever go anywhere
I
and
had
perform?
minstrels in the school. We had plays and operettas.
Mm-hmm.
And I had minstrels.
Oh, really, to come in?
No.
No? No,
Kids,
you put them on with the kids.
Kids.
Oh.
We were on the stage.
Mhm. Have you got any old photographs of that and stuff? I bet Miss Brooks would like to have them for the museum if you did.
And I don't have a picture of it.
Yeah.
We were up there.
But a lot of good memories, even if there aren't
Oh.
any photographs, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when
Well,
Lincoln was
active.
built, you moved over to Lincoln.
Went to
School.
Lincoln.
But were you
Yeah.
still teaching in the elementary?
Yeah.
Okay. You
First
still,
grade.
still had the
Taught
music?
first grade until we integrated.
Okay.
When we integrated school, then I took the third grade.
Third grade, down
Third
at
grade,
Franklin
Franklin
Elementary.
Elementary.
Yeah, okay.
Third grade for 6 years.
I see.
Then I retired.
I see.
I taught 39 and a half years.
39 and a half years.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good little while, Miss Burrus.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I had fun though.
Influenced a
I
lot of
played with
kids
the
and all that time.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I played with them all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Did any of them ever come up to you now and say anything to you? I remember when I was little and I was in your class.
Yes, they're all about grown. I'm back there all grown. They
Yeah.
have families.
What year did you retire? Do you remember?
Isn't that terrible?
Well, 39 and
39
a half.
and a half.
Yeah, that's a pretty good little while.
Yeah,
But now, if
39
you're
and a half.
85, you've had a few years since
Oh,
then.
yes,
to-
I had to.
What did you, after you retired, what did you do to keep yourself busy? Of course, I know you worked at the funeral home. But,
Funeral home.
yeah, but haven't you done a little research and written some things on the black community? I think
Yes,
I saw
I
a
did.
pamphlet or something you had written. Excuse me. Fighting a bad cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
When, going back to Lincoln, tell me a little bit about, and I don't guess you were directly involved, but now, didn't they have a real good band program at Lincoln at one time? Seems like that Mr. Robert Phillips, I know we talked to him, and he was in the Lincoln band. You know, he's had that band, the House Rockers, and
Yes.
still plays.
Yes.
And I think, wasn't he in the Lincoln band? And,
He could have had some part of it, but not too much, I don't think.
okay.
But he had a good band.
Did you have anything to do with the sports at all?
Not work for the course. I had a high school course.
Okay, so in addition to the little kids, you had the high school
Course.
chorus, yeah.
Course.
Yeah. I bet you had some nice singers
That's good
in
singing.
there. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
singing. We were full of pep. They liked the rest of the shows. and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we had plays, operettas and plays. every
I
year.
wish I could
Oh,
have
we
heard
had
some of those. I bet
We
they
had
were.
those all the time.
Yeah.
Plays
Yeah.
and operettas. They love the state.
Yeah, I don't guess anybody ever made a recording of it or anything, did they?
I don't think they did.
That's a shame. That would be nice to get
Yeah.
that out, you know,
Yes, it would.
and
Well,
see.
I was full of pep. I had pep myself.
Well, I think you still got a little pep left.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm with the song. What the difference did they make?
Yeah.
24 allowed.
Right. Now, you were, I believe you were pretty active in your church also, weren't
I've
you?
been all my life. In the
The
church.
AME?
In the church.
Uh-huh.
It used to be near our school. It was next to the school until the house, you know, the factory burned.
Uh-huh.
Our church burned.
Okay.
It was up there.
So where it is now is a fairly new
New church.
building.
That's a new
Okay.
church.
Okay.
Over, we were over there by the factories.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where our church was.
Okay.
And
Which
when we
factories
all
now
those-
do you, when you say the factories, who do you?
Over on, what's the street? Going on out road level.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
St.
Going out
Thomas.
Springfield Road there.
Springfield
and-
Road, right.
Yeah, in the
Springfield
curve
Road.
there,
Yeah,
okay.
in the curve.
Okay, no, I first I knew was when it was,
Over there.
Where it
no,
is
no,
now
no,
in
no,
Harristown.
no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
It burned.
yeah,
Oh, it was a sad time.
yeah,
Yeah, been all my life.
yeah. Are you, you said all your brothers and sisters were gone, your husband's gone. Do you have any family much left to visit with, or are you?
Nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Do they live close, or?
We have one, yes, one is here from Elizabethtown, James
Uh-huh,
Shimmer. He,
I see. Yeah,
and Elizabethtown quite a few.
right.
And I have relatives, several brothers.
Yeah. Well, now, are you still involved in running the funeral home?
No, I'm out now.
You're out,
I'm
okay.
out,
But
yeah.
you still live
Um,
there?
No, oh, yes, yes.
Okay, but someone else actually that runs the...
No one's running at all. I just got, even after Robert Phillips died,
Right,
from autism.
right, yeah, okay.
Well, I wasn't too well anyway.
I
And
see.
after he passed, I hadn't been well.
Oh, okay.
I
okay.
had a light stroke, so I wasn't informed. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
And my
Yeah,
doctor told me
yeah,
that I had a light stroke, but I know I can't. I
I
just
see.
need that one chance. So, makes a difference. So I don't have a funeral
Okay.
home as such. I
Okay.
don't have one to sell.
Oh,
How's that?
yeah.
I'm
Well,
good.
you were there for a long time, and,
I've been there a long time.
yeah. What do you think has changed the most in Franklin? You said you've lived here just about all of your 85 years. What was some of the biggest changes that you've seen in all that time?
Well, we have tried to make progress and keep up with the times,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think we've done a bad job.
Well,
I guess
glad to hear you say that.
That's right.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we've done well.
I
My
want-
dad had a shop, you know, my dad's barber shop downtown on Square.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that. And you say he only cut white
White
people's
people's
hair
hair.
because
Yeah.
segregation
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Were there other black businesses that
No.
catered to the whites,
No.
or his was the only
no,
one?
he's the only black shop in town. I made a mini trip down to the shop.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, was he
He's next to you where
next
the
to a
pictures.
hotel, or?
No, you know where they make the pictures?
Yeah.
Down on next door.
Oh, okay,
His shop, I don't know.
okay.
And
You
he
talking
did-
about Bryant's?
Yeah, Brown.
Okay,
Yeah.
next door to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he and our cousin was a barber. I have
Uh-huh.
a picture of his barber shop, too. I have a picture.
Yeah.
So that's where he,
Well,
there
that would
he
be
is, he died.
interesting to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about businesses up in Harristown, and you mentioned the Oddfellows Hall and the grocery and
Yes.
all that. Was there ever any kind of picture show or anything?
Yes.
How was that?
Yes. You know where you know where the Vickham lot is, not that lot on the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Here and there, because I was born right across the street in front of that lot. Now, that's
that
where I
right?
was born.
Uh-huh.
And on down the street going on toward my house.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, there was just about where the Vickham lot is, was a building there.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a picture show, had a picture show
Okay.
there.
Okay.
And then they rented it after that.
I see.
They made it a place for a rental. You perhaps saw a big White House there with people lived in there.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now, would this picture show the same shows that the Liberty and the Roxy were showing, or
Yes.
would it be
Yes.
different
No,
shows?
it'd
or-
be that.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Yeah. most time went back to Rocks and went there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were talking about you went to Franklin Elementary when schools integrated. Was that fairly peaceful here compared to some places?
No problem at all. I enjoyed it. I had 6 years after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There used to be a Lincoln reunion. Do you all do that anymore, or didn't you used to get together around Labor Day and do
Yes,
were you involved in that? Yeah.
We don't. The girls who were involved in that and taking part in have died, and some of the young people too moved away.
Do you feel
So they
like
have it now.
the young kids, do they? Kids are kids, whether they're white or black. But do you think they are interested in their history and what their parents and their grandparents did, or they just want to talk about the modern stuff? Or
I don't know. I haven't had contact with the older kids since I came out of school. There's been quite a few changes made.
Well, that's
Since
true.
I stopped teaching. Since I stopped teaching, quite a few changes made. And I just don't know their attitude. So many things that I hear that are happening in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one girl, a white girl, taught with me down here at the Franklin Elementary. And I saw in Bowling in the store. Well, she said, Miss Burrus, I'm coming out. I said, are you coming out? I said, I'm coming out. Third grade, leaving school. Because the conditions were getting worse, you know.
Right.
So I don't know how it is.
Mm-hmm. You lived in
Well,
Indianapolis for a little while. How did you like
a
the
year.
big city? Are you glad you stayed in a
I
small
enjoyed
town,
it.
or
I
you think you'd
enjoyed it.
have liked to?
Lived in the city?
Yeah.
Not particularly so.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my stay there
Mm-hmm.
and contact that I had with people, but
Mm-hmm.
I still love Franklin. Yeah.
Do you ever have any desire to do any traveling much and see any other places, or have you been?
Yes,
to some?
the most thrilling trip I ever had was the World's Fair
The World's Fair.
in 1970,
Okay. Where was it held?
in Montreal, Canada.
Oh, I bet that was a
We
nice
went.
trip.
We went.
Yeah.
We went. Yes. I heard of them. And I know we didn't have any children, but I carried my little niece and nephew and
Mhm.
a sister
Mm-hmm.
of mine. We went. As we were leaving, we were going by Detroit. I had a brother living in Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and we were having a funeral at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And a call came that they were rioting in Indianapolis, Indiana,
Yeah, that's
during the
about
funeral.
time.
During the funeral,
Oh my
I
God.
shall never forget that. And we told them. And then we were expecting to leave the next morning, going to Detroit. That's where we were planning to go, to
Right.
Detroit and then on to Montreal.
Right.
And so we informed the family about it. Quite a shock to them, too.
Right.
But we left the next morning, and I carried a sister and a little niece, little nephew
Mm-hmm.
from Elizabethtown. We picked them up in Elizabethtown. Then we went on to New York, though, instead of to Detroit, because after they told us that they were rioting there.
Yeah.
So, I never had such a long ride in my life. We rode to into New York. Earl did drive.
How about
We
New York
stopped
State or New York City?
New York City.
Oh my goodness.
He drove. We stopped at Cincinnati and ate breakfast,
Yeah.
and then we went on to New York.
Uh-huh.
We finally got there, and we spent the night in New York.
Spent the night in New York.
My
My
goodness.
goodness.
And then left out the next day. A most beautiful trip. Oh, a year. Not a year. A week
Mm-hmm.
in Montreal, Canada.
Well, that sounds great.
We saw people from all over the world.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I've never seen so many people. People from all over the world.
Yeah, I'll bet. I mean, the World Fair was
A World Fair. Now, that was a World Fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the other fairs weren't not World Fairs that
Uh-huh.
they've had at these other places. They couldn't tell me they had them because they didn't have large enough space.
Yeah.
Oh, there was nothing. And those buildings were built, and now listen to this, the most beautiful pavilion
Mm-hmm.
was built. It came out in the Franklin Treasury newspaper
Yeah.
after we got back. Was built, designed by a white boy from America, high school dropout.
Really?
Yes. I couldn't imagine it. I thought, I saw it down the courthouse. I saw it in the paper.
Mhm.
Yes. He designed the most. They had beautiful buildings. Every country
Right.
had a building.
Right.
So, you know, it took up space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really was space. And it was just great. It was great. So we stayed a week.
Stayed a week.
In Montreal.
Yeah.
Well, that was really a World's Fair. These other
Mhm.
fairs weren't fair. No. But that was a World's Fair.
All right.
What do you
Well,
think?
if your health stays good, you got any more big trips planned, or
No.
you think your traveling days are?
You know, you know where the largest trip is planned?
Where is that?
Shady Rest.
Oh, now don't say that, Miss Burrus.
Well, it is. I'm not going to other place.
Well,
We go out to the cemetery with Earl.
we don't want you to head there anytime soon. We want you to
but
stay with us
that'll
for a
be
while longer.
No, I want to stay, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lovely time there, and what we saw, all these lights, all those things that we saw at the World's Fair, I have seen here in America.
Mm-hmm.
They have come to pass.
Mm-hmm. And what's it been? I guess close to 30 years
Yes.
since then.
And
28 years.
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And the most beautifully designed building, evidently they had these buildings built,
Mhm.
you know, for these every country to have there.
Right.
Exactly. Was done by a high school dropout.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, sure is.
That's
Sure
high
is.
school dropout.
Well, I bet you've taught some kids that at the time they were in school, you might not have thought they were going to amount to too much, and then they turned out to do pretty well. I imagine you got a few like that you're kind of proud of, aren't
That's
you?
right.
Looking back
Right.
on
That's right.
all the ones that you kind of
Yeah.
pushed along the way there.
right.
Yeah. Well, it's been a real pleasure chatting with you. I
Well.
appreciate you coming in, and we made you wait while we set up, and you were
Well,
just
that's
real
all right.
patient about the whole thing.
That's all right.
Very nice to us. So you were so nice, we'll ask you to come back.
Oh.
So,
I love to talk.
well, all right.
On time, overtime, round time, and any time.
All right. Well, I tell you, talking is what keeps this television thing going. So, so you're going to be our kind of person, then. We'll have you back to talk some more.
No.
Thank you, Ms.
appreciate
Burrus.
I appreciate it.
All right. All right. Thank you, folks, for watching. Hello again, and welcome to another segment of Frankly Franklin. I have as my guest on this portion of our program one of our hidden treasures here in Franklin. My guest is Mr. Robert Phillips. He has been working as a professional musician for, I guess, 40 years now. And I don't know that everyone in Franklin necessarily knows that, but that situation is being changed, slowly at any rate. Let me tell you a story, Mr. Phillips. I was talking to a fellow in the courthouse. He said, I was watching TV the other night, and I think he was watching KET, and they were doing a program that had been taped in Frankfurt, and the governor was there, and there was this band playing. And he kind of looked at the screen. He says, that guy playing the saxophone looks familiar. I wonder who that could be. And then the camera kind of zoomed in, got a close-up, and it was you, of course. And he said, well, I know